What up? It's your boy T-Bear on Reaction. Today is Music Monday. I'm about to do another video celebrating 50 years of hip hop as well too. That birthday passed already. We still celebrating 50 years of hip hop till the end of the year. And we're about to go back to another Digging the Craze one that was brought up based on the last video I reacted to about the hip hop, the song that the accidents that changed hip hop forever. This is pre-sampling of Grandmaster Flash with The Message. So, Grandmaster Flash, The Message was one of the iconic hip hop songs of all time that was part of the rise of the rise of hip hop getting a major look as well too. It already started with the Sugar Hill Gang. Hip hop got its start in 50 years ago in 1973. It became what it was in the music world, getting a worldwide recognition in 1979 with Rapper's Delight, and then on that same record label Sugar Hill Records, later on we get Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five with another iconic song that was part of the rise in hip hop genre, and that is The Message. So we're gonna check out something that before a trend that became a big thing in hip hop, that is sampling. We're gonna check out pre-sampling, and as pre-sampling of Grandmaster Flash The Message from Digging the Crates. Digging Crates been a good channel to check out for information about the music world, but mainly hip hop as well too. So without further ado, and this guy's been very cool to host with this. So anyway, let's get it.
You've heard this song, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but does that sound familiar?
Of course.
Sorry, I'm actually thinking this one.
Check this out. But there we go. Further.
I can keep this big.
Hold on, let me fix the quality on this. But yup, and then this ain't by it. That song is still sampled till this day. That song right there, as you show right there from Check Yourself, Wreck Yourself remix by Ice Cube, Can't Nobody Hold Me Down by P Diddy and Mace. And then you have most recently Coil Ray Player as well too, being a big hit in the hip hop community as well too, for the new era, bridging the gap between new era and old school.
Going for a long time, but I'll just cut to the chase and tell you each of these songs, Coil Ray, Puffy, Ice Cube, they all sample one of the most important songs in music history. And today we're talking all about the creation of the original song, The Message by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, why it's so important to music history, breaking down the samples. Wait, there aren't samples in the song, are there? I mean, kind of? And once we've unraveled the whole thing, I'll create a mashup moving through music history using not only the songs that sampled The Message, but the songs that The Message will sort of pre-sample. First, let's talk about why The Message is such a big deal in music history. The start of the music that
the fact he showed more bouncing out, I ain't never thought about that. This is why I like videos like this. I never thought about that. Yeah, that is a low-key like a rendition of more bouncing outs. Good eye on that run right there. I like it. Oh, good. I mean, your ear.
Hip hop is debated by some, but largely credited to a party thrown by DJ Kool Herc on August 12th, 1973. The unique thing about this is the DJ. He's got two copies of the same record. He's playing the most exciting part of the song, the drum break, over here, and then he plays it over here and rewinds it over here, transfers it over here with a crossfader, right? Keeps this looping back and
I don't think he had a crossfader back then, unless it was, I don't know if crossfader was made back then, because if I saw some of the mixers back then, he had a turn mixer, but still, either way, that's pretty awesome. Always wonder how the DJ would do their thing before crossfader was invented.
Other DJs like Grandmaster Flash continue to develop this, and we get things like the crayon technique, scratching, etc. At this point, though, it's all about the DJ.
Shout out to the Get Down.
Master of Ceremonies, the MC, is there. He's hyping the crowd up, talking about what a great party it is, and he starts to rhyme. But it's all relatively simple stuff. Simple rhymes about partying or how good.
And for those of you who follow DJs or new see DJs as well too, what you meant by the crayon effect, the crayon technique, is now if you look at a lot of turntables lyrics at the time now use stickers. You know why they have like little stickers on their recorded records, or a lot of CDJs and controllers have this little indicator and everything. It all started with the crayon technique right there as well too. So yeah, that's another little tidbit, being a DJ as well too, following before I actually get into it as well too, because it was the best way to find that point five. That was like kind of the manual hot cue at the time, you got your hot cues, you got the ones that got hot cues or cue points as well too. That was the original cue point back then, before when it was just everything was seriously analog.
You are at rhyming. You've probably seen this clip of Hannibal Buress on T-Pain's podcast.
Hip hop, it started out in the park.
Yo, yeah, mess.
Start break dancing, we hanging out with our friends, shaking hands.
Yo, Hannibal's a fool.
Go to the ball and shoot some hoop.
Okay.
Doop, doop, doo, 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 doo.
I mean, it's easy to look back 50 years later at the roots of a genre that took over the world and laugh, but I mean, yeah, that's hilarious. But the message isn't just an early hip-hop hit. It's particularly notable for two big reasons: the music and the lyrics. A lot of early hip-hop is built on samples from funk and disco, which has a faster tempo. Rapper's Delight is about 112, whereas The Breaks is 113. Planet Rock is 127. Even if they're not sampling funk or soul directly, that's the general tempo range. And once you get to the late 80s and into the 90s, a lot of hip-hop is somewhere in the 92 to 98 BPM range, but the message sits right at 101 BPM. It's a lot slower than the party music that hip-hop was known for, and lyrically, it's not a party song at all. It's social commentary on inner city life, with Reaganomics beginning.
Before gangster rap, this was like low-key the seed planter for a lot of, gangster rap or reality rap right now, No, but still.
Crack epidemic beginning, and the song ends with a skit where they get arrested.
Telling you about what's going on.
In fact, it was so different from other hip-hop songs at the time that no one at Sugar Hill Records wanted to record it. The label had groups like the Sugar Hill Gang and Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, and as Melly Mel explains...
Now, we had a song out at that time, so Sugar Hill Gang was supposed to do the message. But they didn't like the song. So she had a song that basically nobody wanted to do. I did the song because, like I said, she was so fixated on doing the song that I knew the song was going to get done anyway. So it might as well just go for the ride and, and do the song. So they went in the studio, hun, jigs, put the track together, Duke Booty played percussion. It took 3 days to mix the song. Like I said, I didn't think the record was going to do anything. It didn't resonate nothing that was going on in the basic hip-hop world.
Here's the craziest thing about this. The song is credited to Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, but Melly Mel was the only member of the group who's rapping on this, taking 3 of the 5 verses. And Duke Booty, who, by the way, is in my list of top 5 names I've ever heard, has the other 2. Only one member of the Furious Five is actually on this. Grandmaster Flash wasn't even involved at all. No disrespect to Flash whatsoever. The man is a legend, and even Melly Mel reluctantly agreed to be a part of it, only because it was the next song coming out from Sugar Hill Records. This just goes to show you how no one thought the song would be much of anything. No one except Sylvia Robinson. Melly Mel says she's the only one that believed in the song, and she played a similar role to James Brown or George Clinton. She knew what she wanted and could get that out of the band. Speaking of, let's talk about...
I kind of low-key would like to see a biopic involving her in with Sugar Hill Records, man. I would like it was like a Sugar Hill record biopic, something like that. There's a lot of talk about it. There's some ups and some downs with the situation with her and Sugar Hill Records. I would like to see either a biopic or a documentary, but I'd rather be a biopic though. I like to see things acted out as well too. But yeah, I would like to see a biopic about that as well too. Low key, no lie though. That'd be a dope biopic to watch, even if it's just on streaming service or even some Lifetime shit. I don't care. I would like to see a biopic of it, or even on Tubi. Yeah, I'd like to see a biopic of it.
about sampling, or rather pre-sampling. Grandmaster Flash is a pioneer of DJing with turntables, looping great drum breaks, and helping develop the method we talked about a minute ago. But when it came to the Sugar Hill label, they took a different approach. As guitarist Skip McDonald explained, the usual Sugar Hill method was they'd go out nights to discos to see what people were dancing to, then take pieces from different records, isolate one portion, and use that as a springboard for the rappers. Sylvia would be instigator. Rapper's Delight is the classic example, a direct take from Chic's Good Times. It was like pre-sampling. We'd learn the groove and physically play it. But the message was different. That music was Ed Fletcher.
Yeah, the thing about that, I gotta hear this for, but yeah, the thing about that, before sampling was a thing, a lot of folks were doing like their own little rendition, or I guess say interpolation of the songs. You know what I mean? It wasn't like sampling, like you have a sampler, you sample the actual song. They were just like doing their own little rendition of the song at the time as well too. Like I say, a Rapper's Delight had the same rendition of Good Times. I wanted the Breakout rendition as well too. It's the joint. That's the joint by the Funky 4+1 was a rendition of an old school song as well too. White Lines was a rendition of a guitar, a bass break as well too, and many others. So yeah.
The earliest version of the message was recorded with a more African percussion feel after Ed Fletcher, aka Duke Booty, aka just moved into my top 3.
That's an interesting name, Duke Booty.
3 best names came up with a groove by banging on a water bottle. Like, I don't know, I guess something like that. This version didn't feel quite right, so they took inspiration from 3.
He died like last year, man. Literally last year. I might have heard, thinking about it, I think I might have heard about his stuff too. Cause that's our fair, that sucks.
Big sources for the production of this song. Zapp had just done More Bounce to the Ounce. I loved that. And Tom Tom Club's Genius of Love. Also, we'd been listening a lot to Brian Eno and David Byrne's My Life in the Bush of Ghosts. Musically, the message is kind of a combination of those.
Now I can hear, hold on. I can definitely hear More Than Ounce. Let me think about Genius Love. Maybe a little bit of Genius Love. There's mixture of both Bouncing Out and Genius Love.
Let's take a listen to each of these songs and see if we can spot the inspiration. Here's Zapp. Now, if we isolate
that part,
guitar, that sounds an awful lot like this. That synth bass, that funky guitar.
Shout out to them taking advantage of the Serato stems. That's definitely one of the best things. The stems in the DJing and music programs is like one of the best things they done in a while, and I can't wait to then do it for all the products they got they got a beta for DG Prime 4 Plus, but I can't wait to do it for the rest of them, man. I know, man. Now I gotta hear the Genius Love.
You're hearing it, yeah? Ooh, let me isolate the bass and guitar from that and use that later. Here's Genius of Love.
Now, I can probably hear it.
I mean, you know what the other sample is. This is Fantasy by Mariah Carey. And Grandmaster Flash sampled this on a different song. But if we isolate just the guitar on here, that's also sounding a whole lot like this. That funky, staccato, kind of percussive guitar.
Okay. I felt it sounds good.
Guitar from that for... Here's the song Regiment off that Brian Eno and David Byrne album. They specifically liked the trance-like quality of it, and if you isolate just some of the electronic stuff, this is what they really loved. And you can hear that, some of that electronic-y, synthy stuff play out.
Okay.
Makes sense. Save some of that electronic stuff for later too. Jiggs Chase was also involved in the production of this song, and though uncredited, legendary bassist Doug Wimbish says he played bass and came up with the melody line. This song was a huge hit and influenced the hip-hop that would come after it in multiple ways. For one, it pushed the MC to the forefront. Their rhymes and the message behind those rhymes were now the focus. It's not just about party raps anymore, though there's plenty of those still. The message paved the way for artists like KRS-One, Public Public Enemy,
Yup.
and NWA.
Yup. I talked it up too. You know, though he's not really gangster, but they talk about reality, what's going on as well too. Chaos One was started out gangster, but he still after his first album, he still talk about what's going on. And you know, when NWA, the most dangerous rap group of all time, man. Come on.
Another, Melly Mel says this was such a huge hit because it was so different from all the other hip hop out at the time. So if you're someone who doesn't like the genre or thinks you don't like it, this is a completely different sound, style, and message that can get you liking a hip-hop song in a different way. This song would plant the seed that would eventually disband Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. I mean, it's a massive hit with Flash's name on it and only one group member's involved. But the song's influence has continued on.
Because it ended up being, that explained why a little bit afterward it became Grandmaster Melly Mel and the Furious Five. Oh, wow.
On even to today, in 2023, 41 years later. Because remember the songs I played at the beginning? Ice Cube sampled the message in 1993 for the song Check Yourself. Diddy, then Puffy, sampled this song with Mace for Can't Nobody Hold Me Down in 1996, and most recently, Coi Leray sampled the message on her song Players. By sampling this song, Coi Leray is taking part in hip-hop history, not only directly through the message, but through the other songs that have sampled it before her.
And her remix of it also as well too, with the bust around Eyes Put Your Hands Where I Can See remix with it as well too. Shout out to DJ Stage.
Coi Leray is throwing in other references to classic hip-hop songs as well. For instance, here's the chorus line pitched down.
Yup.
And that's not the only reference to the next episode.
I just wanna have a good night. Hold up.
Yup.
There's even a Biggie reference in there.
Don't know, now you know.
And if you don't know,
now you know.
Anybody know.
Each new song that samples the message adds additional production to
I think
make the sound match for
player
its
two as
time,
well.
but
And
I wonder.
in the beginning, in the first rap, when I think in the bush, she's like, "What you know about this?" That's from Mace Feels So Good too. Yeah, that was a whole salute to hip hop song, regardless though. Not just the sample and the remix of the sample, the lyrics as well too. So shout out to Coi Leray for that as well too. And I mean, that gave her a lot of recognition and some dap from a lot of older listeners who frown upon the new era rap as well too. We're gonna get into something about that as well too afterward, but let's keep going.
What if we take those isolated elements that inspired the original, the Zap bass and guitar, the Genius of Love drums and guitar, the Brian Eno and David Byrne synths, and combined those with every iteration of the message we've mentioned? I'm just trying to make my man proud. The man with the name that is now at the very top of my list, Duke Booty. I mean, how can you top that?
That's like a dope track. Wow, that's like a dope remix right there.
I'm trying not to lose my head. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep it going under. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep it going under. You better check yourself or you wreck yourself, cause I'm bad for your health. I come no stuff, dropping bombs on your mouth. Call arms. Do about 1 month and with your Wi-Fi soda for 6. So always let tricks know and friends know we got that antidote. No, I'm not a sucker sitting in the house of pain. And no, I'm not the butler. I'll cut ya, head cut ya. You say you can't touch this and I wouldn't touch ya, punk motherfucker.
Push us, cause we're close to the edge. We're trying.
Oh, that's dope.
Lose our heads.
Gotta catch another fight.
Wow.
Wait a minute. I think we gotta kick this up a notch.
Right.
Just wanna have a good night. Hold up. If you don't know, now you know. If you don't, then you better let him go. You could have anybody know. When you a boss, you could do what you want.
The message doesn't have any direct samples itself, but by 1986, sampling was booming, and producers were looking for great drum breaks to build hip-hop songs with. That's when James Brown, essentially incepted hip-hop by serving up one of the greatest drum breaks in music history on a silver platter. But for that whole story, you gotta watch this video.
Okay. I might have to do that. I mean, we celebrate hip hop, might as well keep going backwards and backwards. Well, this was a good video, indeed. Some of the information stuff may seem longer than it's supposed to be. It's like 11 minutes long. I made this video 19 minutes, over 19 minutes long. It's all good. I mean, this is how much of a music lover I am at times as well too. Well, other than that, if you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Shout out to Digging the Crates as well too. I didn't even know his name as well too. He never say his name, but Digging the Greats. Sorry, Digging the Greats. Anyway, it's your boy T-Bear signing off. One love, and like I said, that little mashup we did was pretty dope. I like it though. Anyway, it's your boy T-Bear signing off. One love.